Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Joey Galvez, one half of your host of Explain Yourself, and I want to let you guys know about a really cool book from our friend of the show, Eli Shockey. This one is called The Greylock, and it's a story where magic is a commodity. Potions are sold at corner stores. Orcs and dwarves earn a living in cubicles, not on the battlefields. But there are those who resist the house's magic's laws. Branded a criminal and forced to live as a wand for hire, there is a spell slinger they call the Greylock. Check this one out. You guys can pre-order issue 3 right now with code JAN241939, and make sure you guys are heading over to your favorite LCS and letting them know that you want Greylock number 3, and maybe pick up the first 2 issues. You could do that at the Scout web store. So make sure you guys are grabbing the Greylock number 3, JAN241939 at previewsworld.com.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me via Zoom is...
It's Mr. Matt.
Mr. Matt.
Yep.
Well, you know what, Mr. Matt? A horse is a horse, of course. And no one can talk to a horse, of course. That is, of course, unless the horse is the famous Mr. Ed. Not sure if you knew that.
Nope.
Nope.
I did not.
Okay. Well, Mr. Matt, I'm Mr. Mike, and today we're talking about a unaired pilot shot in 2004 for the Fox television network called Mr. Ed. It was a remake or reboot or whatever of the classic Alan Young starring TV series Mr. Ed. Also based on the series of books that the television series was based on.
Yep.
And so this project was written by Drake Sather, who worked on Zoolander. He co-created that character with Ben Stiller. He also worked on News Radio and the Larry Sanders Show. The TV series Ed. Speaking of Mr. Ed. He was the co-executive producer for 22 episodes of Ed.
Great show.
Oh yeah, amazing show. That'll probably never be streaming or on DVD because of music rights, because it used like every popular rock song or pop song at the time. Yeah. Anyways,
It's on YouTube still. At least every episode's still up on YouTube. But so
Yeah.
Go ahead and download it from your real downloader player or whatever, so
Yeah,
in case
then you
they
can have
get
it.
taken down. Yeah.
Speaking of YouTube, that's where we found this.
Yep.
Yes, and Drake also wrote on Saturday Night Live, The Dennis Miller Show. Wrote one episode of Empty Nest. He was also a very talented stand-up comic. And yes, I am talking about him in the past tense, unfortunately. I'm going to start this thing on a downer here. Partially due to the creative pain that he suffered from this show, Drake shot himself in 2004. Yeah.
Yep. Killed himself partially because of this fucking show.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other stuff going on. He was going through a divorce and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
but so I'm not saying that it was definitely because of the show, but it definitely played a part.
Plus, he had mental issues, obviously, so it's
Mhm.
like, it's too bad.
Yep.
Yeah, look up his stand-up comedy if you get a chance, people. He was funny. So, on to the show, Matt. What happens in this episode here?
The one and only episode
Yes.
that was unaired. So Wilbur decides to move his family outside of New York City to this farm town or whatever because his daughter was getting too crazy in NYC. His 15-year-old daughter. So you're thinking it's like a Dawson's Creek kind of situation. Like, oh well, she's having sex and going to parties. No, she went to a club, one club, and he decides to move his family to a farm because of that. And of course she hates it and all this, typical teenager crap. And they go to the barn and like the dude who is like kind of like the handyman. By the way, who is that guy? He's very familiar.
Garrett Dillahunt. He okay. So okay. Wilbur in this episode is played by David Allen Bash. I'll go through a little bit of the cast here.
Okay.
He's an actor known for TV shows like The X's and Bull, and he's been in a lot of movies and stuff too. So you know him. He's kind of like this actor that shows up in a lot of things. Mm-hmm. Garrett Dillahunt, who plays the handyman Jim Hendry. He is probably best known for recently for the TV show what the hell is that called? Hold on, sorry. Yeah, he's known for Raising Hope, which lasted from 2010 till 2014, where he played Bert Chance on there. It's probably what he's best known for. He's he was also on Fear of the Walking Dead.
Okay, yep.
He had a recurring role on that I really liked him in was in Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles. He was really good on that show. He's been in like everything. This guy's been acting forever. He was in Deadwood for years. He was on One Life to Live for a year back in '93. Yeah, but he's done everything from like NYPD Blue to ER to
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so he's been in everything. Then we had Sherilyn Fenn as Wilbur's wife, Carlotta. And Sherilyn Fenn is best known for Twin Peaks. She was in Wild at Heart. She was in The Wraith. She was in Of Mice and Men. She had a recurring role on the TV series SWAT recently. She was in the reboot of Twin Peaks recently too. So she's been in like a million things. Sherilyn Fenn. She's great.
Mm-hmm.
The daughter on the show is played by Sarah Paxton, who has been in a lot of things, including Sleepover, a movie that we recently covered for this show.
That's right. Sleepover.
Yes.
Wait, who was she in Sleepover?
She was the popular girl that her boyfriend tried to have sex with her in a car.
That was her.
Yeah.
Well, 2004 was a big year for her career.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's mean.
Yeah. Yeah, she was in that. She was in. She was also in Twin Peaks, the reboot.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, she was in. She does a lot of voices on SpongeBob SquarePants. She's in a lot of things. She's in the TV series. She was in an episode of the TV series Wrecked with former All Too Real 2 guest Will McLaughlin. So there we go. So, there's all these connections, So
yeah, I wonder if she got the the Twin Peaks reboot from working on this show, because the other one is interesting. Like,
could be.
The Mr. Ed, all the camaraderie that they made, the one episode they made for Mr. Ed.
Yeah.
They all like, this was like a traumatizing moment that, shared trauma, creates this kind of bond, so.
So then Sherilyn Fenn was like, hey, this girl that played my daughter on this failed attempt at a TV series, I think she should be in the Twin Peaks reboot.
17 years ago or 16 years ago, whenever the reboot happened. Yep. So I'm trying to stall to talk about what happens in this episode, but I guess I'll continue.
So what goes on in this beautiful, beautiful television series?
Okay, so the handyman, is like they're trying to go through like a whole like gritty, version of Mr. Ed, like a politically incorrect, like 2004. That was all the rage of like taking an old thing and like making it like super. I don't know. I mean, I guess they do it now to
making it hip.
But back then they were really bad at it. Yeah, and because they didn't really know what they were doing like 17 years ago. And yes, 2004 was 17 years ago. That feels good. Anyway, yep, okay. Best year of my life. Each year the memories fade to more abstract impressions. Anyway, I'm not depressed. I am, cunningly. Okay, anyway, I'm just going to keep doing these caveats for the rest of the episode, by the way, just to avoid talking about this. So, the handyman guy is hilarious. He's like, what made you move to the murder capital, or kidnapping capital of the world? And they're like, she's like, wait, what's that? Like the little brother's like, oh, can't you believe it, Amanda? We're so gonna get kidnapped, like all excited. the mom's like, no, and, like the guy's like nodding, like, yeah, they are. Like to Wilbur, like I don't know, he had a really good delivery. That guy, just really good acting for this poor episode. Unfortunately, a lot of it was wasted.
Oh yeah, and one thing that we need to mention too is that Mr. Ed is voiced by Sherman Hemsley.
Yes, yeah,
as in known for the Jeffersons and as Mr. Jefferson and TV show Amen and among other millions of bazillion things that he was in.
Yeah,
weird choice for the voice though. But anyways,
so that's what they're going for, the whole like modern, like try to be cool and weird, type of thing. And so the handyman leaves after he says basically they're gonna get kidnapped, and also makes soft propositions to Wilbur's wife, like saying that he'll come to her windowsill and weird crap like that. And then they leave, and then Wilbur says something, I don't remember what, and they leave, and then Mr. Ed says something like, I who are you talking about, blah blah blah, I get more play than P. Diddy, or I'm like, oh my god, this is so 2004. And then it plays like some typical like alternative rock early 2000s type of theme song, like Mr. Ed, whatever type of thing, stupid song. No offense to the writers, but it was a dumb song. And then nothing happens for the rest of the show, and that's it. So we don't need to talk about it. No.
Well, we have this thing where so the main plot of the show is that the daughter, Amanda, is the character's name. Is starting her new school or whatever, and I guess she has a thing for a guy, which Mr. Ed overhears, basically. The basic plot is that the dad is trying to get closer to his daughter because they've, become distant because of, her growing up and changing and all that stuff like kids do. And when you're a teenager, it's like, ew, my dad's a, dork, sort of thing. Because that's how I talked when I was a teenager. I don't know about you. I used to be like, ew, my dad's a dork, and I'm gonna talk like this.
No, I never talked like that.
No, neither did I. But I just. Okay. Anyways, so it basic idea is that they're trying to get closer. They basically decide to get closer by, so we have the basic concept, though, earlier on that, Wilbur discovers that Mr. Ed can talk, and, throughout the episode he tries to convince some other people that he can talk, but Mr. Ed will never talk in front of anybody besides Wilbur. Just like in the original show, So, Mr. Ed basically tries to help Wilbur get closer to Amanda. Wilbur convinces Amanda to go on a, horse ride, and while they're riding Mr. Ed is like basically talking to Wilbur and filling him in on all this stuff that he knows about the town and knows about Amanda from overhearing conversations. And so it kind of helps Wilbur get closer. She likes this boy and wants to kind of go out with him. And Mr. Ed knows that the guy's no good. So he calls up the kid and pretends to be Wilbur and threatens him if he tries to go out with Amanda. Like often happens, because, the reason I never had a girlfriend that long in high school was because my cat used to call up the girls and and tell them not to date me.
It makes sense. I mean,
That's the only explanation that makes any sense to me.
all of our pets, they like us, so they don't want us to be, taken away from them, shared with other people. So they're like, hey, man, like, I'm gonna make you taste hoof or boot. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Like, okay. God, this show's bad. I just watched it. I still can't remember what just happened. It's like, there's certain shows we watch that are like that, where you can watch it 3 times and everything just leaves your mind.
Yeah.
And other things you watch one time, you remember almost everything. I literally just finished watching it again like a half hour ago, and I'm like blanking on most of what happened, which, by the way, almost nothing in the show. Maybe that's why, because nothing happened. So, like, what? There's some raccoons in the house at one point. Right?
Yeah, there's this going gag where Jim Hendry, the handyman, is getting raccoons out of the house, which comes into play later.
He needs peanut butter. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
He
he uses peanut butter to catch them, which will come into play later as well. Yep. Okay, so basically, the boy tells Amanda that her dad threatened him, and so to make up for it, they invite the kid over for dinner. Do you want to take a break and we'll talk about the rest of what happens in this, Matt?
Yes.
Yeah. We'll make it enjoyable for you, Matt. I swear. When we come back, we may have a special guest or something.
Okay.
We might not too, but
Okay.
Stay tuned, folks, and you'll find out.
What is Gen X? What is the silent generation? What do generations have in common? Hi, I'm Trish the Dish from the Gen X Voice podcast, and I invite you to listen to conversations I have with folks from different generations, backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences in an attempt to see what connects rather than divides us. Even though Gen X has been called slackers, Karens, or not mentioned at all in some cases, we are the bridge generation, so I feel compelled to do my part to destroy ageism by bringing all these voices together. And, as a bonus, each guest gets to answer some 80s questions at the end of each show. So download and listen to Gen X Voice today on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And let's see how much we have in common after all.
Hi, this is Catherine, host of a new fashion podcast, The Real Fashion School Dropout. Join me as I interview guests every week in the fashion and beauty space, and we gossip on all things fashion and beauty, and even get into some personal stories of their journey in the industry. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Hope to see you there.
And we're back. Okay, so we do have a special guest here with us.
Oh yeah.
I invited my my talking cat.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. He's going to talk about what he thought of the episode.
Okay.
Yeah. My cat's name is Spot.
Cool.
Okay. So if you have any questions for my cat, Matt, go ahead and ask.
Why did I decide to pick this show for this week?
Meow.
I don't understand that language. Oh, okay. What?
Do you have any other questions? Because that was very, very insightful, which Spot just told you.
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay, let me ask Spot. Spot, do you like Matt?
Whatever.
So, I'm sorry that Spot said that about you, Matt.
Eh.
You know.
I've heard worse, so it's not a big deal, really.
Well, you know. Can't
I don't
believe-
like this.
I just can't
I don't like
believe.
this. I don't like this game anymore.
You don't like the cat?
No, not this. Not the cat game.
But he's nice.
Yeah, I guess.
All right.
Technically,
All right. I guess I'll just go have him euthanized.
no. Don't do that.
Why not?
Don't get him. Don't kill him.
Oh. But if you don't like him, I got to do something about him. You know, I got to get rid of him then or something.
Well, it's not that. I mean, my opinion doesn't really matter that much on it. I mean, it's your talking cat, so you know, it's kind of up to you, really.
Are you sure?
I think we're derailing this.
Okay, so all right. Okay, say goodbye, Spot. Okay. So anyways, so what happens next in this episode here, Matt?
So stupid. So they're at dinner, and Dad's like trying to apologize to the dude, but he's like saying weird shit like, "How do you like that corn? It's fresh, and what were we saying? Young and definitely underage." And it's like, it's just creepy.
Yeah,
then,
because,
like,
it's because he notices the kid grabbing the knee of his daughter and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. And then, so his wife makes him apologize. The kid makes up some bullshit story about how his dad was killed by a tornado, or at least was, took off by a tornado, whatever. And then they leave. And then the guy's like, "Hey, you want to meet me outside in the barn, later, or whatever?" And she's like, "I don't know." Blah blah blah. It turns out the tornado story was total bullshit. Of course it was. And then he's like, "I don't have a curfew. My dad's U.S. Marshal," or something like that, whatever. And then so the dad goes in the barn. Mr. Ed basically tells him, or I think I don't know.
He overheard the conversation, so he tells Wilbur all about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's basically telling Wilbur to go all crazy. By the way, so earlier, this is kind of backtracking a little bit, but earlier, Mr. Ed was like, "You gotta." So I read this. I swear to God, this is a kind of a weird tangent here, but there's been this weird generational thing that's been going on for the past, I don't know, 10 or so years, where people will mishear words, but they'll interpret it completely wrong to the point where it makes no sense at all. I think it's a generational thing. 'Cause I don't remember when I was a kid, teenagers or adults doing this as much. It seems like from my generation and onward, we started hearing words wrongly, but then interpret them in ways that made no logical sense whatsoever. Someone wrote down one of the reviews. By the way, there's very few reviews on Google I found about this show.
Yeah.
But one of them was that Mr. Ed was telling Wilbur to keep his daughter on lockdown and all this kind of shit. It's basically you gotta make sure your daughter's pure and type of thing. And he's like, lock her in a room, chop her hair off, make her ugly, and then make her stay in there until she's 21. Okay, so we're imprisoning daughters now. Is this Saudi Arabia? What? Okay. Anyway, which literally one of the princesses in Saudi Arabia literally is currently locked in the hotel or in a palace they've been for 2 or 3 years now. Anyway, so I'm not making
yeah, I know.
French statement against Saudi Arabia like literally happens in Saudi Arabia. Like there's currently 2 princesses that are locked in the palace. Anyway, and so someone wrote in the review that quoting Mr. Ed saying, "And put her in a room, chop her head off, make her ugly, keep her in there until she's 21." If you chop someone's head off, they're dead. So it doesn't matter that you wait until she would be 21 because she's dead now after you decapitate your daughter.
Pretty sure the body will be fully decomposed by then.
It's like one thing. It's one thing to mishear a word, but then to completely not see any logical flaw in how you interpret that word that you mishear. Like chopping someone's head off doesn't make them ugly. I mean, I guess technically it is, but that's not like the prime reason.
I don't know about you, but I don't think I'd date someone without a head.
I wouldn't either. I mean, maybe that's being rude, but no, I would not do that. And
it's kind of one of the requirements I have for a girlfriend.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly a catch myself. I do have a head on my shoulders, literally speaking. Maybe not so much metaphorically, but definitely in the physical department of that word. Anyway,
and I use Head and Shoulders, so shampoo. Cool. So it's all good. Wait,
I sometimes because if whatever, it's there. I buy it. I'm like, oh, that seems kind of cool. I'll use that. And I realize I don't like the smell of it, so I'm like, God damn it, I don't want to do this anymore. So like, I'll use like the cool fructose. Like I'm weird when it comes to shampoo. Like I like nice shampoo. Like I mean, I don't get expensive shampoo that often, but like, I wouldn't say that the fructose is exactly expensive, but it's more expensive than like the dollar bullshit. Like, no, I like to smell nice. I like to feel nice. If I had it my way, I would buy some of that really expensive shit that's like $80 a bottle. But no dice. Can't.
You know what you should try?
Mane
and tail.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because it's probably what Mr. Head uses.
Yeah. Yeah, when he's getting groomed and cleaned up and stuff like
My
that.
mom used to use that stuff. Anyway, so...
Okay. So, and Mr. Ed tells, Wilbur, and then, like, Wilbur's like, I got a better idea, and he sees all these, was it badgers? Was it badgers? Or
raccoons, I think. Raccoons
that were in the cage. Yeah, because the handyman said that he was going to keep them in the barn until the next day to take them out into the country and just kind of... Well, they already live in the country, but I guess this is like the country of the country. So, like,
yes.
complete boonies, like, and just kind of set them free or whatever. And so Wilbur, this time it was Wilbur that had like the devious plan or whatever, and he's like, I got a better idea. And so their idea is to lure Amanda's pseudo boyfriend or whatever, because like they've only lived there for a day, so I'm not sure how you can have a boyfriend after you've only known someone for a day, but whatever. Okay. I mean, teenagers work fast, I guess, so I don't know. And then so Mr. Ed is pretending to be Amanda in order to lure in her boyfriend.
Yes.
And he's like trying to talk like like a feminine type of voice, which is very well, not just feminine but high pitched, which is very hard because the actor has a low voice.
Yeah,
kind of like I do. And so he's like, "Come in," whatever, trying to talk all sexy or whatever. And he's like, "What happened to your voice?" And he's like, "I just got my tongue pierced," which I'm not sure how having your tongue pierced would make you have a different timbre in your voice and tone and lower octaves. Okay. And have like a more booming baritone kind of voice. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, but this kid's trying to get laid, so he doesn't care. Basically,
he just wants to get laid.
Yeah,
I mean, like, did Amanda take like a big shot of testosterone on the way too to like get like a more like masculine voice? I mean, I'm not sure if that even does that. I don't know. I'm not an expert on hormone replacement therapy, so I really shouldn't speak on that. I'm not a scholar on that. I'm not even being sarcastic either when I say
I know.
I don't know. But I know that can make you build muscles real good and stuff like that. So anyway, have you ever seen some transgender men before? Fucking bodybuilders. It's like,
I know. Yeah.
they could beat the shit out of me. I mean, it's like. Anyway, so like, he's like, "What's happened to your voice?" Blah 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 blah. And then Mr. Ed's telling him to slather peanut butter. Well, first get it down to his underwear, and then to slather peanut butter all over his body. Again, this was a 2004 show that was meant to be on Fox, regular cable, not Showtime,
not regular cable, regular TV.
It's not regular TV. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's network television. Yeah.
Yeah, so this was supposed to be on the Fox network. Again, Fox back then was trying to be edgy. I mean, they've always been. That's kind of one of the reasons.
Well, they've been edgy since the beginning. I mean, their first successful show was Married with Children. So I mean,
okay,
right.
So that's always been like their shtick or whatever. And in my opinion, they've always been the worst of all the networks, but that's whatever. And I mean, they've had a few good shows like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, stuff like that.
Which they
really
stupidly which they canceled and then got picked up by NBC. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever. And he's like, "Are you sure about this?" And then Mr. Ed's like, "Just do it, bitch." I'm like, okay, this is getting aggressively weird here. And then they sick the badgers or raccoons all over the kid, possibly giving him rabies, which is fun, I guess. I think it's a felony considering if he's underage, that you're committing violence and potentially poisoning a child.
Well,
but okay, and
well, yeah, but
just saying,
he was trying to get with the little girl. So I mean, I'm just saying. No, anyway,
trying to get with the father. I understand. He's trying to be a protective father. I mean, this was 2004 after all. This was kind of in the beginning stage of like trying to be woke or whatever, but this was still like on the heels from like the 90s, so you still had that kind of like, "It's my daughter, you better, I'm gonna beat you out with the shotgun," or whatever type. I don't know, whatever, kind of. I'm just making stuff up, but whatever, because I don't want to talk about the show. And so he gets attacked, potentially dies from rabies bites, and bites into his other private parts. So not only that, but bites to his private parts might cause severe and potentially permanent injuries to his male organ, which could potentially prevent him from ever having children. So I'm not sure if that was really a fitting punishment for dating a high school student when he's also a high school student, but whatever. I guess that's what they do in the country. They kind of don't mess around when it comes to that kind of thing.
No,
it could be the reason why there's so much, macho and, kind of that sort of, violence in the country might stem from that kind of, you don't get any second chances. You get one chance, and if you blow it, a raccoon's going to bite your penis. I mean, that's, it's the way it goes, I guess.
That's how it happens. I mean, the number of people I've talked to have had their penises bitten by raccoons.
Yeah.
It's like everybody I know that lives out in the country has at least had one raccoon bite their penis.
I would not doubt it.
I mean, and even if they don't have penises, they still bite their penises. It's a weird thing. I don't know how that happens, but
they just grow one right at that moment just to get bit. That's.
I mean, we've all heard the classic song "A Raccoon Bit My Penis," right?
Yes, it's a famous song that was just written now in my mind.
Yeah,
and,
it was a country song. It was. I think Blake Shelton did a cover of it a few years ago. Wait, no, what?
Yeah, that's what happened. And, God damn. So, oh God, and I know I'm missing a bunch of stuff here, but who cares?
It doesn't matter.
I know there was some cool stuff with the handyman. Oh yeah, because he was being suspicious that Wilbur was talking to himself, and then at first that's what he thought, but then he's like, "Are you talking to the horse?" And he's like, "Oh no," and blah 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 or whatever. And he's like, "There's something going on with you and the horse. Like, it's not sex weird, but there's definitely something weird going on with you and the horse or whatever." Because he was gonna go just. Okay, there was a funny line here where he's gonna take him out, to have him euthanized, and then the younger brother's like, "Are you taken to a petting zoo?" He's like, "Yeah, if you like petting dog food." Like, okay, so there was one funny line. So that, you know, I like that one. That was okay. And
That's my other favorite country song.
petting dog food.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Trace
Yeah,
Adkins,
it's a good song.
you know, made that song popular back in the 90s. It was great.
I like petting ever since a raccoon bit my penis. Now all I do is pet dog food. I don't know.
Yeah.
I gotta work on the rhythm, but
So,
what are we talking about?
I don't know. So, anyways, the episode kind of ends with the girl saying that, you know, she doesn't want to have anything to do with him anymore because he's crazy, and the boy, and that she's found a new guy, and he's but he's 25, but he's in the same grade as me,
which is not even possible at all.
Yeah.
There's they age you out at a certain point if you don't graduate high school. Like,
yeah, they make you go
you'd be
get,
like
go
30.
get your GED or whatever, or take night school or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you could be a teenager and that's it. If you're like 20 and you're still not, then they just kick you out.
Yeah.
Because I've known some people who are 19 because the way their birthday landed.
Well, yeah.
You know, that's happened before. So like, but
I mean, I was 18. Like I was 18 my whole senior year because of my birthday. But yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because in August, my birthday's in October, so I was pretty much 18 for most of my senior year as well. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so like the line though at the end, it was weird. Like, they're trying to go through some weird implication here. Mind you, the daughter's 15 years old. And we keep watching these movies. Again, this is not my intention. I think it was just the time, because a lot of these things came out in 2004.
Well, the thing is
Sleepover
like
and
the
stuff
same
like that.
girl in Sleepover, the same actress, had a boyfriend try to have sex with her in a car, like basically in the middle of Times Square.
Yeah,
and
he was like older too. I mean,
the actor was, but not the character.
Oh,
probably.
the character wasn't okay.
Probably
and,
not.
Well, a lot of the things we've been watching lately were like that came out from like the 2000s and stuff and like late 90s. Like I never realized like how inappropriate some of these jokes were at the time. Probably because I was that age at the time, right? So I didn't really think of it, you know, or I didn't even like know what the jokes were even like referring to or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But like some of these things we watched, I'm just like or not just the jokes, just what's happened in the movie. Like for example. Yancey and the fat guy, you know, from that was one of our band names we came up with, Yancey and the fat guy.
Yeah.
He's like obviously at least 19 or 18. No, because he works at a bar, setting up sound equipment. And like these, mind you, these in Sleepover, not this show. Mind you, these girls. It's summertime, but it's summer from the 8th grade going into the 9th grade.
Yeah.
And so they're not even freshmen in high school yet. And by the way, what like the weird thing about this stuff is like they weren't even like doing that to be creepy. Like that was what made it weirder. Was like they weren't even in all these movies and TV shows, there's always like that girl who has the college boyfriend. I didn't know too many of them when I was in high school. Yeah. I don't know about you. Exactly. Like I've seen it so many times in movies. And plus two in Spy High, which you just recently released. That one, the guy is 16 years old. Yeah, and he's trying to get with like a older girl. And supposedly he has this online girlfriend who's like obviously she looks like she's in her mid-20s. Like I mean, the actress at least. Yes. And obviously she is because if you watched it, by the way, that episode's hilarious. I mean, I don't like to toot our own horns. That sounded really weird. I know. But yeah, make sure you go back and listen to our Spy High episode. I think it's hilarious. It is hilarious. Yes. But there's something that gives away the fact that it's not just the actress, but the character she's playing is definitely at least in her very late early 20s at the very least.
Yeah.
Like we're talking 23, 24. Just based on her career, you'll understand. I don't want to give it away, but you'll understand.
Just listen to the episode and you'll understand it.
But again, with that show, it wasn't even portrayed as being like they weren't like doing it like like it was just like that was just part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it's like that's kind of weird though. Like you don't see how that could be weird. Like anyway, so I went off track, which is I tend to do.
So, anyways, do you want to take a break?
I want to make one point.
Okay, go ahead and make a point before we take a break.
Go ahead. Okay, because that's what I was building up to, and then I totally took it off the track. So she's like, she tells her dad, like, yeah, like he turns out to be a complete freak show. He accused me of being a dominatrix that's like has a weird fetish for peanut butter, and she's like, I don't even like peanut butter. So it's like, okay, that's weird. Like, but you're saying that you are a dominatrix, like, okay, and they just like left that said like nobody got the joke. Apparently, it's like, yeah, okay,
yeah. Well, we'll take a break now, okay?
Good, okay,
yeah. So because that was basically the episode of that wonderful television show, and we'll be right back, and we'll read a couple reviews maybe and have some other thoughts here. We'll be right back.
It's the Ninja from the Ask the Angry Ninja Show saying, come listen to the show. We got the Ninja Wife to give you your movie reviews. We got the Conscript to give you the Ninja News. And we got the Battle to talk about your sports. And as always, it is the Ask the Angry Ninja Show. So ask me a question, we'll give you the ninja knowledge you need for your ninja life. Search for us anywhere you get your podcast from. Just search for the Ask the Angry Ninja Show and enjoy the show.
And we are back. Meow. Go away. Okay. Anyway, so
don't talk to you right now, Spot.
Yeah. Spot, go. Go. Okay.
Good. Go.
Okay.
Talk to you later.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. So fucking cat. Anyways, have to have him euthanized.
No.
No. Are you sure?
Oh.
Okay, I won't. All right. So, I noticed looking at the credits for this show that one of the executive producers of this episode was Jack Handey, as in Deep Thoughts by Jack Handey from Saturday Night Live, Jack Handey fame. So I decided I need to read my favorite Jack Handey deep thought. One thing's kids like to be is one thing's okay. I'm going to start over. One thing kids like is to be tricked. For instance, I was going to take my little nephew to Disneyland, but instead I drove him to an old burned-out warehouse. Oh no, I said, Disneyland burned down. He cried and cried, but I think that deep down he thought it was a pretty good joke. I started to drive to the real Disneyland, but it was getting pretty late.
Wow.
That's my favorite deep thought by Jack Handey.
Wow. That's so cruel.
Yeah. Oh boy. So yeah, the we've got like there's a couple of reviews on of this by the way, if you're interested in watching this, probably should have said this at the top of the episode. It's on YouTube, so go ahead and watch it there, so look it up.
You did mention it actually earlier.
Did I? Okay,
yeah.
Good. I was just making sure. So yeah, it was never aired on television, so it's, kind of hard to find sometimes. Some of these things that we're watching are really hard to find, like the next one we're going to record, but I'll make that available to people. Okay, so this one review, so we got like 2 really long reviews, so I'm not even going to really read much of them. But yeah, so basically I'm just going to let you know that we've got a 4 out of 10 and a 3 out of 10, which are a lot higher than I thought they'd get. I'll read the one. It says, now that they're trying to revive Mr. Ed, perhaps they'll next try doing the same with My Mother the Car and Me and the Chimp. Those were also television series, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, My Mother the Car was the most interesting concept for a television series ever, Matt. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
Okay. The show starred Jerry Van Dyke, who was later on Coach and stuff. This was around the same time as Mr. Ed. The concept was Jerry's mom dies and is reincarnated as a car.
Okay.
A talking car.
Okay. Okay.
So the concept was kind of similar to Mr. Ed, except for there was a talking car that also happened to be the lead character's dead mom. So...
that's weird.
Yes. We will need to find the pilot to that and watch it sometime for this show, I think.
Yeah, it sounds
a
lot more interesting than what we just about.
So, I don't know what Me and the Chimp was about, but I'll look it up someday. Anyway, so, okay, he says, this guy is Martin Haffer. He says, it's rather hard to imagine anyone trying to revive the series Mr. Ed. After all, the show was likable but kind of dopey, such as the time Ed the Horse tried out for the LA Dodgers. And the concept was very, very limited. I mean, how much can you do with a show about a talking horse? Yet despite this, the original show being the butt of jokes, some thought reviving the show with this 2004 pilot was a good idea. Fortunately, the networks didn't think this was a great idea, and the series was never made. The show begins with Wilbur Pope moving his family out to the country. Blah, 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 da-da-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. I'm not going to rehash the whole episode like we did. Well, the 60s Mr. Ed was silly. The new attempt to revive the series is a bit different in style. The new one is filled with one-liners, like Mr. Pope is a frustrated stand-up comic, and as a result, the laugh track is more obvious and invasive. It wasn't horrid, but it also wasn't very good. In the 50s and 60s show, the man was named Wilbur Post. However, he was Wilbur Pope in the original pilot episode from 1958, and the new proposed series chose this original name and not the familiar one. That's all he's got here. So, yeah. Anyways, so that's what we got. Yeah. It wasn't good. Anyway, so would you recommend anybody watch this, Matt?
God. No. Sorry.
Do you think this show, if it would have aired, could have lasted a whole season?
In 2004, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I'll give it a pass because, like I said, 2004 was like a really good year for me, so I have like these weird feelings while watching it because I could definitely feel some like 2004 type of humor, but like done very badly, basically. But like I remember shows that did this kind of humor much better.
Yeah.
So like I have like some weird, like just a very tinge of nostalgia while watching it. Not real nostalgia because the show's such a terrible piece of shit, or horse shit rather. That was funny.
That was good, Matt.
Yeah, it was great.
No, go away.
Thanks, Spot. Appreciate the compliment.
Okay.
And appreciate it, but appreciate your feedback. As a certain electronic musician is wont to say, and is really due for a new song to be put out. It's been a while since that person has put out a new track. Anyway,
who's that?
Yeah, I don't know the name. Something about some electronic step, something electro pop. Mark. Don't remember the name.
Oh, Dubstep Matt?
Is that who it is? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I think something like some weird fake musician that's definitely not me.
Yes.
But I mean, I guess like it's not that long. Okay, it's like between the intro with the DVD thing and the outro, it's probably only like 18 minutes and like
Yeah.
40 seconds long. So it's like, if you got the time and you don't have anything better to do and you're not really taking that time away from something that you could be doing that's actually productive, or at the very least gives you a certain sense of pleasure, then go ahead and watch it. It's not terrible. I mean, it is, but it's not. We've talked about things that are actually worse than this, if that's even possible.
Yeah,
But,
we have.
So, I mean, if you're into that sort of thing, early 2000s, weird, gritty, politically incorrect humor that's done very horribly, bad CGI, bad.
Yeah, that's the other
jokes.
thing. They used this weird CGI on Mr. Ed's face that was very
was
much.
stupid.
I mean, well, at least it was a lot better than what they did in the original series, where I guess they had used. Some people said they used peanut butter to make him talk, but
Something. Yeah.
I've also heard, and I'm not sure if these rumors are true, that they actually, like, put a needle and thread into his mouth.
Oh,
with
Jesus.
fishing line and moved his mouth that way.
That's terrible. If
Yeah,
that's true.
so whatever it was, they were probably cruel to the horse in some way, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was before they had those kind of
Yeah.
laws, I'm sure.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that. So anyways, my thing is if you feel like watching something funny with like talking animals, watch Dr. Dolittle with Eddie Murphy. I'm just saying, it's a lot
It's a
better.
decent movie.
It's a lot better than this.
Yeah.
And it's from around the same, time frame. So, that's what I recommend. So, anything else before we wrap things up here, Matt?
No.
Okay, so I just want to, ask our listeners, I should say, some personal favor. Go to Apple Podcasts, give us a review.
Please.
Yes. I don't care if
Please.
it's a good or a
Appreciate
bad
it.
review. Just give us a review.
And yeah, you could totally say that we're pieces of shit, and we should stop doing this podcast.
Call us
'cause we're
pieces of
not
horse
funny.
shit,
Or pieces of horse shit, yeah, and that we should stop. We should just turn tail, get it,
Yep.
and run, into a different project. But go ahead and you could say that.
We should
At
we
least-
should change horses midstream if you want us to.
Yes, that's a good one. I like that. And you could tell us like, hey, we're not, we're taking this too far, and that you could say, well, we tried to warn them to not get too crazy with their podcast, but you can lead a horse to the water, but can't make it drink. I mean, we could do this all day, as Captain America would say.
Mhm.
Ooh, that rhymed by accident. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Do this all day.
Yep.
Do it until we have to put the horses away, man. And
yeah.
yep.
Yep.
Yep. So anyways, make sure you do that, folks. Share the show with your friends if you like us. And if you don't, maybe share it with your enemies. And
Yeah.
be like, here's something to listen to. Anyway, so check out our Patreon, check out our TeePublic. It's all in the show notes for this episode. Check out Matt's music. Check out some check out some Czechs from the Czech Republic. or some Chex cereal, or check out your checkbook and make sure that nobody's using your checks illegally, and stuff like that. Play some checkers if you want.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Anyways, I've been Michael E. Cullen II.
And I've been Mr. Matt. The first. Spot better not be making fun of me right now. Can we kill him?
Well, I'll do that for you. I'll euthanize him.
No, don't.
Oh, wait, no. Don't euthanize animals, people. Okay, anyways, unless they're really sick and they need to be put out of their misery, because that's probably better for them.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
But
yeah. You've got like an old dog and you want to put him down, that's fine, whatever.
well, depends on the context.
I mean, I'm just saying if he's, if he's sick and he, can't walk anymore or something,
Exactly.
Yeah, so this is getting weird. So, getting weird? It's been weird the whole episode, Mike. Anyways,
yeah.
Anyways, have fun, folks. Be safe. Wear a mask. Get vaccinated. Wear a fucking condom.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.